My boy Sandy Alomar Jr., he always said that Kenny Lofton, when you go, we go. So we're ready to go right now.
Okay.
And we're pumped to have you here on Keep Swinging, man.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. So that's good.
Dude, yes, sir. I'm pretty stoked because you're wearing the cage chain, man. You've had that for a
Oh,
while.
yeah. I have a couple of variations of it, but this is the heavier one, the thinner one I was able to play with. Because this one right here, if it hits me right here, it'll knock a tooth out if I do this right here. So yeah.
How many different variations do you have?
Well, I just have two variations. I have the gold one and then the platinum one. The platinum one, the gold one is when I started playing. I was able to use that one because it wasn't as expensive as this one. You know, it was my first year. It was 91. And a fraternity brothers of mine in San Francisco, Derek Smith, I will never forget. He's a fraternity brother of mine, Kappa Alpha Psi. And I just felt like I needed to wear something, representing my fraternity. And this is Kay and this is Kenny and all that. But it worked out.
Dude, that's wild. So that's the same one from 1991?
No, this is not. I got one in there. I can go in there and grab it. But that one is in 1991. This is the one I made when I made it. Started making some money. I was able to make a real one. You know, the other one was a little bit, it was 14 karat, but this one was platinum. I stepped it up. I stepped my game up.
All right. And you went with your buddies. So where was this store that you guys went to?
To be honest, I don't know. We had it made.
Okay.
But that's what the idea was back then at that time. And ever since then, I put it on and I wore it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I know going back to even there was an interview with you on ESPN called Up Close, and it was back in '97, and you were rocking the chain too, so it's been pretty consistent.
Yeah, I mean, I can go grab it and show you, but I have it in there.
If it's nearby, why not? Let's do it, baby.
Give me a second.
All right, so for everybody listening to this, Kenny is going to grab the second variation of his cool chain, but yeah, this is one of the coolest things that you will ever see on a baseball field, and it's awesome.
All right, this is the first variation of it.
Wow, there it is. Like you said, the gold.
Yeah, the gold one. This is the gold one.
Dude, yes.
Yeah, so I went up with the platinum from this one. It's kind of, you can see how heavy it is. It's just kind of, but this one is kind of nice, and this is the one I play with. Yeah.
Yo, I wore Ronald Acuna's 13 chain not that long ago, and like that thing was heavy. So like you said, some of these guys, when they're running around the bases, man, I can't imagine what happens if it comes up, hits your teeth or something like that.
Man,
Next thing you know, you got a tooth missing.
But you know what? Those guys don't run as fast as I did, so
dude, my guy. Yo, I love it, man. That's why I had you on. Your quote machine and the baseball culture behind you just absolutely awesome, man. Like, it's crazy. So this K chain is definitely a good reflection of that. And also too, man, so you talk about the days that you played, right? So that's like back in the 90s, 2000s and stuff like that. And the effect that you had on baseball and on culture, man, we see it even today still. J. Cole came out with a song named after you, man. Kenny Lofton back in 2013. Yeah, how cool was that, man?
No, it was pretty cool. When I actually one of my business partner, Brenton Early, his son, texted me and said, they have a song out about you? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, no, they don't have no song. He said, yeah, J. Cole did a song about you. I'm like, what? He said, I said, what's the name of the song? He said, his name is Kenny Lofton. I'm like, what? So he ended up sending it to me, and I listened to it, and I'm like, wow, it was pretty cool. But I end up speaking to J. Cole on the phone. I forgot a buddy of mine was at a Laker game, and he was there, and he put him on the phone, and I talked to him about it. It's pretty cool. No, so yeah.
That's crazy, man. So what was the conversation like? Like, was he just? I'm imagining he was probably pretty pumped to talk to you.
Yeah, he basically said I just felt like I just need to pay respect to some people that, especially you, who didn't get the credit for what you did on the field. And he said, all these home run guys or whatever, but you guys, you set the table, you did this. And he said, I appreciate your game, and that's why I did that. I'm like, wow, okay.
Dude, yeah, I got the chills, man, because even in the line, he says, you feeling my pace? And then there's even at one point where he's talking about they only care about you when you're handling the rock, which we'll get into a little bit later. But you could tell that he was definitely a big fan of yours and obviously a huge influence on the song. So that's pretty cool. And there's even another song, too, that has the rapper Currency in there, and he's a really good guy, too. So, dude, you got a couple of them, but that's the cool factor that you had, man. You got the chain. You added to the baseball culture, and people are still showing the respects to you, man. It's awesome.
I appreciate it. Again, I just played the game the way I played it, and hopefully I got respect the way I played the game, and that's what I was all caring about at the time.
Yeah, man. Well, if J. Cole and Young Jeezy are rapping about you, I think you did a pretty good job of doing that.
Thank you.
All right, so obviously this story has a beginning to it. So let's go back to the very beginning. Growing up in Indiana, man, just the story of the relationship between you and your grandma and just everything that went behind it, man, was so special, and it definitely made you the man that you eventually turned into.
Again, I can always say she was the rock of my life. She basically molded me to who I am today, and that's why I tell people she molded me. She showed me the right way to do things, the right direction. And again, and I said to myself, if she can accomplish whatever she accomplished through what all she accomplished, I mean, what she did and what the adversity she had to go through. I said the little life and what I'm doing right now is nothing compared to what she had to deal with. So I just respected her for that, and I listened, I learned, and I took heed of what she said from day one.
One of the quotes that you said before in an interview is, "If you
Mm.
say I can't, I'll say I will." She had to instill a lot of that kind of mentality in you because, like you said, she had such a huge impact on you, and I think that's definitely one of them.
I mean, again, like I was saying, a lot of people don't know, but she was blind. So for her, being able to accomplish what she did, and then when somebody said you can't do something, and basically that was something that even though one of her senses was taken away from her, not being able to see, but everything else was there. So if you can in one way, you can in another way. And I think that's how she looked at things. And again, I was brought up that way. So and that was the mindset I had.
When you do talk about that mindset, how much did it make you grow up into a man at an earlier age than maybe than you would have in a different type of situation? Were you comfortable with it? Like, what was the, I guess, the progression like?
Again, you had no choice. You had to be comfortable where you had to make it fit. You had to make it work. And at that time, I just made it work, and I understood this is what I knew. It's like if you didn't know nothing else, but you knew you had to, you pretty much had to do it. I mean, that was it. That was the bottom line. You had to get it done. And that's what I figured out, and just figured out whenever, any way you can, you need to get it done to accomplish what you need to accomplish. What's that guy always saying? Get her done, so you get it done, get her done, so I just wanted to figure out how do I get it done, and I got it done.
Amazing. So here you are, you're being raised by your grandma. You played football for a month about. You ran
Ooh,
track. You
yeah.
played baseball and basketball. Those were the two, and that was a great outlet for you to kind of get away from some of the distractions and everything going on in the neighborhood. But dude, you really crushed it in both those sports, man. And it took you to the University of Arizona on a full basketball scholarship. That's crazy.
Well, again, I ran track, basketball, baseball, but the way I grew up and how I was living, I couldn't afford to go on a partial baseball scholarship. And that's what they were giving out, partial baseball scholarship, and the rest you had to pay for yourself. I couldn't afford that. So the opportunity for me to get a full ride of basketball to Arizona, I jumped at that. And yeah, I mean, it worked out for me. But again, I wanted to go to school and get my degree, and I promised my grandmother I was going to do that. And the opportunity for me to go to full ride at a major college, I mean, it was a blessing.
Yeah, and you've talked about this a lot before because it seems like so many people when they find out about this, they're like, "Wow, you play with Steve Kerr, you play with Sean Elliott, you play with so many good dudes," and there you are, and kind of going back to the J. Cole song about when you're handling the rock. That was you. That you were passing the ball to everybody. You were the point guard. You led at the time. You left University of Arizona with the record in steals. Like, dude, you were a hustler on the basketball court, man.
I mean, again, I just knew what my ability was, and I knew what I could and couldn't do. And I know with that team behind me, you had Sean Elliott, Steve Kerr, Sean Rook, Judd Bushler, it was Elliott, it's Anthony Cook. You had those guys on your team, and we always called Tom Tolbert the black hole. When you got the ball in there, you didn't get it back. So I just knew when I was dribbling and getting it up the court, and we either throw it to Sean or Steve or Sean, I mean, Rooks or Bushler, Tolbert, I wasn't getting the ball back. I wasn't getting the rock. So I knew that. And those guys showed that they, had the skills to play in the NBA. And again, I mean, I felt like I did my part on that team. I passed the ball and played defense. That's what I did.
Yeah.
I was fine with that.
And so I guess it was about junior year where you kind of realized that if you were to play another sport that you also loved, again, baseball, that those talents kind of stick out a little bit more, because when you do hit the home run, it's you hitting the home run. When you get the stolen base, it's you stealing the base. So you get the talents stick out more. So that junior year, that's when you made that switch, and that had to been one of the craziest years too, because you're playing basketball and you're playing baseball, so it's year round.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was after the Final Four in '88. I went out and worked out with the team, the baseball team. Jerry Kendall was the coach, and I guess Lute made a call and said, "Hey, can he come out there and work out with the team?" And I was missing it because I mean, when I went there, I was supposed to play both sports, but again, with the college rigor, I mean, just what was going on and school and all that, it was all new to me. I'm coming from Indiana, going all the way to Arizona, so this was an all new phase to me. So after my junior year, I felt like I was comfortable enough to go out there and do something else. And I worked out with the team, and some few scouts out there saw me, and one in particular, Clark Chris, said, "Hey, this guy he got some talent. He's just a little rusty, but he got talent." And for a guy to see talent like that, he has to have a great eye for the game of baseball.
Yeah, and all it takes is one person or one decision that can change your lifetime.
Yeah, and that happened. I just felt like, I give kudos to Clark Chris every day. He was a scout with the Houston Astros at the time, and he said he just saw something. Other people didn't, but he saw something, and he told the organization, "You guys need to figure out how to get this guy because he's special." But I guess he saw that. But I didn't, again, with my early on skills in the minor leagues, it was a little rough. But again, I made it happen. They say, you can't be doing this. You can't. You know what? You can't. I can, and I will. And that's what I did. And I made it happen.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. I'm pumped. It's just so cool too, because again, you noticed that you kind of took that step back at junior year and you kind of realized that. But also at the same time, man, so you're at the University of Arizona and you're playing both these sports. Dude, my guy's got to be going out a little bit and partying and stuff like that. Like, how are you able to balance all that?
Well, at the university, I've only had one official at bat at the University of Arizona. So it was more of basketball. And what I did is I played summer baseball. And then I went back and played my senior year of basketball. So it wasn't at the same time, but I played summer baseball. And then I went back and started my fall school and fall basketball. That's kind of how it worked out. So partying and all that, I was a fraternity guy. So I didn't party that much. I mean, I squeezed it in when I could. But again, I was going to the parties where I wasn't drinking or smoking or whatever. So it was kind of nerdy to me to be, out there because I wasn't drinking like everyone else.
Yeah, but hey, look, it paid off, man.
Yeah, it did. It did. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't change it, change it at, for nothing. I enjoyed my time, and the guys and the people I had on the team with me. It just showed me it was just a family affair. Being away from home, being away, and just having this group of guys to be a part of, and just made you feel like it was like a brotherhood on that team. So, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I think one of the coolest parts about it is that when you did start playing baseball, you had your basketball guys show up and support you there, even the coach, one of the greatest coaches in basketball history. So like just knowing that must have been so feel good for you, rather than them being like, "Dude, you should actually play basketball. What are you doing playing baseball?" You know what I mean? Like, so that must have felt so good for you.
But again, he knew it. I mean, you saw the guys. I mean, I didn't get a chance to keep the ball in my hand, with those guys. So yeah, I mean, he knew it. I mean, come on, he's a smart coach. He knew once I passed it, I didn't get it back. So, I mean, for me to have an opportunity, and he knew just from our basketball team softball games we played, I was killing them. So again, so he knew it. So he knew baseball was probably my route, and that's why he asked the coach for me to go out and work out, because he knew that was another love of mine. And then after that, he knew it. And when I signed, he wasn't surprised. He said, "You know what? I'm not surprised, because you are athletic. You have great talent. And I knew you had some skills just watching you do certain things." So he wasn't surprised. And they all come out in different cities and places I played in. This guy showed up, and I get a call, and somebody's here, Bushler, McMillan, Milbach, all these guys Tolbert, Elliot, everyone. Who knows? Those guys will show up somewhere in the city I'm in, and they want to come to the game, and they all come out, and it was pretty cool.
Dude, that's wild. And talk about such crazy talent, because obviously you eventually went to go play Major League Baseball and they played in the NBA. Like, dude, talk about connections and a network of people that try to make you better, and just you surround yourself with these great people, and you're just feeding off each other's energy. So then you get drafted in the 17th round of the MLB draft by the Houston Astros, and another great Kenny Lofton line. One man's trash is another man's treasure. You eventually get traded to the Cleveland Indians, dude, and then you end up having 10 great years there.
I mean, again, I didn't understand the trade process. I was with Houston, and they at the time they were looking for a catcher and a move Biggio to second base, and from one last place to another last place. I'm like, hey, but again, I just felt like there was the possibilities behind me, and I was just starting to understand the game. I was just starting to understand it at the time, on that level. He using a wooden bat and understanding that. But I look at it this way. I looked at it, my skills was going to take me over the top, and I knew who I was as an individual. So I knew that the game at that time, it was about speed. You speed, you get on base, you do certain things. It's not like the game now. It's about power. But at that time, I was like, you know what? I need to take advantage of my asset, and when that was my speed and my instincts and all that, and I took advantage of it. And so when I got traded, I'm like, okay, you guys don't know, I'm just at the alpha moment of my career. You guys just don't know, but they traded me anyway, and here we go. I went to some place that wanted to see what the real Kenny Lofton was going to be like. And at that time, I was still a little raw, but I was coming to my own, and it worked out for me.
And the fact that you understood that too, and accepted it, because like you're well aware of, like you said, your talents, and you want to make the most of them. Then you have these outside people too, which I know one scout had said that at the very beginning, that you had to look lost at the field and at the plate and stuff. But again, you literally just had started picking baseball back up. You're raw, as you said. So it's just like, yourself best. Nobody can tell you what you know better than yourself, or how you should be, or what you should be doing, because you know yourself best.
I mean, again, I felt like I was a smart individual. I've lived, I've learned. I know how to learn. You just teach me which way to go. And again, if I don't pick it up today, tomorrow, the next day, within a certain part of time, I'm going to pick it up. And I tell people that all the time. I said, don't cut me short early on, because when I put my mind to something to go forward and do something, I'm going to put, 1,000% into it. And that's going to make the best come out of in me, because I know who I am, and I know how I look at things, and I know how I go about things. So I knew eventually I was going to be, something special, because I knew it in my heart. I knew it in my mind, and I knew the skills I had, and I was going to take that as far as it can. And that's what I did.
Yes. And I think that's so important for everybody to kind of listen to, and maybe even play back, just because it's easy to get discouraged. It's easy to suck at something at the very beginning, because I think everybody sucks at whatever they're trying to do at the very beginning. But it's just a matter of working hard and believing in yourself and having that vision, which you had. And I think that your skills and your talents, and then you have the look of yourself on the baseball field. Again, going back to baseball culture, and you get put with the I know you said this before, the mistake by the lake, and it's yourself again, my boy Sandy Alomar Jr., Albert Bell, all these awesome guys, right? Charles Nagy, Manny Ramirez, and we've heard so many stories. We know the Mr. Freeze thermostat story about Albert Bell crushing the thermostat, but he just loved it so cold, and you had to put it up a little bit. The David Bell catfish story about how Dusty Baker knew how much he loved catfish, so he brought him catfish one time into the clubhouse for him. But I need a Kenny Lofton story that you haven't shared just yet, because you go a lot on a lot of different shows, and everybody's always asking about everybody else because it was such a cool group. But we want to know about the man Kenny Lofton.
Myself. Oh, story. I don't have many stories about myself, really. Told you I'm kind of simple.
I've seen some cool pictures on Instagram that you've been tagged in. There's got to be a couple. Because everybody always asks you, they're like, hey, what was it like playing with Albert Bell? What was it like like all these different guys, and I'm like, dude, you're a great storyteller, but I want to learn a little bit more about you.
Not, I
You're the
mean,
man.
I don't know. There's nothing pretty crazy about me, really. I don't know. A story about me. No.
See, you're so used to answering the questions about everybody else, and you're a humble dude.
I mean, maybe you gonna have my buddy Clark Christ on, the scout who signed me. We're really good friends. So he has stories probably about me. Oh, I'll tell you, okay, there's one story. Okay, here we go. We were on the Nike trip, myself, Clark, and it was Barry Larkin on the trip. And we were in, I'm not sure, I believe it was either Mexico, Hawaii, Jamaica. I'm not sure which one it was, but we went to all of them. And we were snorkeling. I was snorkeling for the first time. Didn't know nothing about snorkeling. And with me, I listen to people. When people listen, when they talk and they do instructions, I'm like focused in. When somebody speak, I'm going to listen and focus in about the do's and don'ts, what you shouldn't do and don't. So those guys snorkeled before I didn't. So I'm really focusing in. They say, watch out for the coral, don't touch the coral, blah, 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 blah. So, my first time I finally got it. I got the mouthpiece in and I'm moving around. So I felt pretty good, So I'm under the water and then all of a sudden I finally got it. Because at first I was kind of hesitant. So once I start moving, following fish or whatever, and somehow they finally start watching me. They say, oh, he finally got it. They're looking at me. And all of a sudden they see me plop out of the water like a dolphin and come back in the water. Right? So they're like, what happened? I was like, I don't know, man. I came back to him. I was like, I don't know. I was going, and all of a sudden, I'm following the fish, and I saw a coral. And the guy said, do not touch the coral. So all of a sudden, I was following the fish, and the coral was right in front of me. And somehow, I don't know how I did not touch the coral, but they said they saw me come out of the water in and back down the water over the coral. It was like, and then they came back and they said, Kenny, what happened? And then Larkin said, probably coral. Coral. So somehow they said I came out with like a fish come out of the water, but somehow my body did not touch that coral and I was fine. So maybe that's a story right there. So
that was a great one. Thank you. Could you imagine if social media was around today and somebody had that on camera, man? You would have been going viral.
I would have been. For what they said, all they said was my head, my butt. They saw my feet, and all of a sudden they saw me go back. I'm like, how did you do? I was like, bro, I don't know. To this day, I still tried to get in and out of the water like that. I can't.
Yeah. You're at the time you're literally the fastest man on land and on the water.
At that time, it was in the water. So if you talk to Larkin about that, he was like, yeah, they saw me, and all they saw was like, whoops. So yeah, it was pretty funny.
Oh, that's great, man. That's an awesome story. And I love how it kind of took you a second because, again, you're so unselfish and you always tell great stories about all your teammates and stuff. And all your teammates respected you, man. Again, like Sandy Alomar, all these guys said that you were their favorite teammate of theirs who they had played with. And then in 95, they even chose you to raise the banner in Cleveland. So it's just like, the type of respect that you get from your teammates, and then you get all this respect from music and pop culture and stuff like that. That's rare. That doesn't happen often. There's only a handful of players or people that happens to. Of course, there's like the Ken Griffey's and all that other stuff, but like you're in that group.
Again, I just try to be me, and I always try to say I'm gonna if I'm with you, I'm with you. I'm on your team. I'm on your team. And I'm always going against the enemy, and at that time, if I'm on your team, I'm going to show you and you're going to see. And again, I just be me. But again, I've always been a team player. I've always thought about the team first. That was who I was. And everyone knew it. And that's why Sandy always said, Kenny, when you go, we go, because they follow behind how I approach the game, how I go about it. I go 100% all the time. And I just go at it. And because I'm a winner, I just try to win. I mean, that's the bottom line. I do what I got to do to try to win. If I see something somebody's not doing, I'll say, hey, you know what? Maybe to do this way or do it that way, because I can see it from my perspective. And a lot of guys respected that. And that was, again, kudos to those, thank those guys for feeling that way towards me. But again, I was just being me. That's all I was doing. Yeah.
That's obviously the best thing that you could possibly do, and I think a lot of times these days, a lot of people aren't themselves or aren't doing that, which is that's when you pretty much fall into some troubles and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think too, like your teammates know this, right? And the teams know this, but I think for the casual baseball fan, when they look at the back of your baseball card and they see that you're with the Cleveland Indians for 10 years, then you're with what, like 7 or 8 other teams throughout the rest of your career, they don't realize that it wasn't like you hopped around from place to place. It was that you had a specific talent, a specific skill. And like you said, you worked hard. You would do anything to win. So come postseason time, man, people are picking up the phone and asking for Kenny Lofton. That's like another kind of crazy compliment in like the most unique of ways.
I mean, again, I mean, at first I felt like, why am I getting traded? But then once you talk to other guys and teams, and they figured out that there is always a piece of the puzzle that they usually didn't have, and that was a center fielder, leadoff hitter that tried to, work the count, do certain things as a leadoff hitter, what a leadoff hitter should do. And I felt like I was that prototypic, typical leadoff hitter that did exactly what a leadoff hitter should do and get on base, disrupt the picture, make them all, because again, when you disrupt the picture on the mound, who knows what he's going to throw, to the plate to that hitter coming up. And I felt like I did that a lot of times where it messing up the pitcher. He ended up throwing the ball in a different spot that he wanted to, and the hitter ended up hitting the ball at the ballpark and hitting it off the wall, whatever. So I felt like if I did my job, to do that, and that's what a lot of leadoff guys, or a lot of them didn't want to do that. A lot of guys didn't want to lead off. They didn't want to work the count and get the count to full. But my mind said, if you work the count to full as much as you can, that's making the pitcher throw more pitches, and that can tire him out more. So I just felt like that was an advantage that I felt that I had than other leadoff hitters did, because I wasn't afraid to hit with 2 strikes. 2 strikes, I'm like, okay, sometime I'll sit there and take 2 strikes on purpose just to do it, because I wasn't afraid, and I think a lot of guys respected that, saw that, and understood that, and knowing I was trying to do something to help the team.
And that's from the time that you started your career, early 20s, to even when you're 40 years old out there running the base. Like, dude, you put up some crazy numbers like throughout your entire career, but definitely at the end too. It's just like, damn, you hustled, man. I bet you could probably go out on the field today and probably out hustle some of the guys easily, because there's not many guys that did it like you did, for sure. And what's so cool too is that you start your career with the Indians, you play there for 10 years, and you got a chance to end your career with the Indians. And even when you hit your 2000th hit, you remember the Yankees, but you did it in Cleveland, dude. Like that, you're just Cleveland through and through, man. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, Cleveland was, again, Cleveland was the city that and a team that helped me, put my name on the map as a baseball player. So I'm gonna respect the city of Cleveland, the organization, because again, I just felt like I got the opportunity and I just took the best, the most of it at that time. And I still, love this, that city to this day. It's my second home. And again, it's just, I just have something about that city that they all they wanted to have is a winner, just have a winner around it so they can say, we have a winning team, we have a winning city. And again, it's, people always said certain things about Cleveland, but I took a love to city of, the city of Cleveland. And to this day, it's one of the loves of the cities that I have. And I always try to have an opportunity to go back and do something for the city of Cleveland, because again, it is a city and a team that, again, put me on the map, and I appreciate that.
Big time. And I don't I never really bring up stats and like refer to notes, but I think just for the purpose of whoever's listening to this who maybe weren't as familiar with you as before, I have to read this off because it goes along with a lot of the quotes, like if you say I can't, I will. One man's trash is another man's treasure. So, and I know I know after experiencing this, you're a humble dude. So you might even be silent on the other end when I read this off. But to the scout who said that you're lost on and off the field, and all those other people who doubted you or confused as to why you weren't so good at the beginning of your career, quotation marks. Here you go. You are one of 2 athletes in history to play in a Final Four and World Series, 6-time All-Star, 4-time Gold Glover, .299 career batting average, which you may never see again today. Almost 2,500 hits and 622 stolen bases, which is 15th all time. And you did that in 17 seasons. And you said this yourself. We all have gifts. It's just a matter of finding it. Dude, you found your gift, man. That was baseball. You were a huge basketball guy and all this other stuff, but you found your gift.
Yeah, my gift was speed and understanding the game. And again, I sat back and I learned from a lot. I learned from Eddie Murray, Dave Winfield, or Kirby Puckett, Paul Molitor. Those guys taught me a lot about the game, just sitting down, speaking and talking to them. Ozzie Smith. So it's just, again, for me to just talk to those guys. And again, I listen and learn. And we always call Eddie Murray in the clubhouse, he was E.F. Hutton. When he spoke, everybody listened because he didn't talk much, but when he spoke, Eddie spoke knowledge. And then you had Dave Winfield. He was just a knowledgeable, I called him the knowledgeable encyclopedia. He just sits there and he speaks and he has this way of Dave, just the way he speaks, you just want to in awe because how he's presenting it. But I mean, for me to have those two guys on my team in 95, that helped me a lot, just being able to just listen to those guys and just learn a lot about the game of baseball. So, I mean, I give kudos to all those guys just to give me the lot of knowledge, but for me to go out there and put all that knowledge together and present it out in the field about respecting the game. Those guys, all of them, they all said, Kenny, you have to respect the game. So that stuck in my head to this day, even though I'm not playing the game, but you have to respect the game. And I think that was the bottom line to all those guys I talked about. Their last line of defense, respect this game. Mm-hmm. I felt I did that. And again, I mean, it's hard to talk about it, but it's about what those guys, meant to me. But again, they said respect the game.
Yeah, give respect, get respect. And you even saw it from, I know you just mentioned a couple of your teammates and some heavy hitters, but even the pitchers too, man. Pedro Martinez said that you're one of the top 5 toughest batters you could ever face. And there's even fans these days. I mean, I just watched it the other day. There's like a 40-minute video on YouTube by this dude named like Michael Coe or something who pretty much just talked about your entire career and why you should be a Hall of Famer and all the great things that you've done for the game. But it's just like, it's universally known by, I feel like, anybody and everybody. Even last night I was with a couple buddies and I told them like that we were recording today, and they know everybody in the lineup, but it felt like one of those one times where just like, wow, like, dude, like, that's cool as hell. And I'm like, yeah, it is cool as hell. And I'm happy that we're doing this because I look at you as somebody who would fit in perfectly in today's day and age, but I think baseball needs more of you. Dude, you are the guy.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm the guy, but again, the game has changed. The game has changed to more of an analytics part of it, and just having that human eye, that human understanding of the game is starting to go away, and it's kind of sad because stats and analytics don't have anything to do with that human component, that human factor of the game. Again, you can say, well, this guy hit this guy real well, whatever, but you don't know at a certain particular time, maybe that pitcher is not feeling well, maybe that hitter is not feeling well, whatever. But again, I don't care. I mean, I felt like, even though I was not, maybe I was in a slump or something or whatever, and facing a certain guy, I can understand that. But if I'm on a roll and I'm in the zone, I don't care what pitcher's there. I can not hit him in the past or whatever, but at that particular time, if I'm in a zone, bring that pitcher during that time that I couldn't hit before. When I'm in the zone, bring him now, because something about that zone when you get in, it's real. And some people don't understand it. Some people don't know how to get in it or whatever, but when you get in it, you're in it. So bring any and all comers. And that's how I looked at it when I get in the zone.
Dude, yes, I love that. It's like a warrior mentality, man.
Yeah.
And even too, like, I think just the personality, just like being able to have fun. Like so many players these days are so kind of like in their shell or whatever. And like, dude, I just think that overall you brought it all. And what you're doing right now on social media, being able to see some of your posts and what you've been up to and just doing research, like Jaleel White, the dude who played Stephen Urkel in Full House or in Full House, jeez, in Family
Family Matters.
Matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite the mix up. But you're getting love everywhere.
I mean, no, he's a good friend of mine, and I mean, he respected. The thing about Jaleel, he was a big fan of Lute Olson's.
Oh, okay, there you go.
He was a big fan. I mean, even though it's funny how we used to go play UCLA because he went to UCLA. He used to come and have dinners with us or whatever, and he just was a Lute Olson fan, even though everyone knew that Jaleel White was a Lute Olson fan. I mean, even though he when Arizona played, he wanted Arizona to win, but when they played against UCLA, different story. But other than that, Jaleel White was a UCLA fan, but second, he had the love for Arizona. He was a Lou Olson fan. So, and I became friends, and today, to this day, we're friends. And again, he loves sports. He loves sports. I mean, it's crazy how much he loves sports. And like again, he used to always be at the games, especially when UCLA, Arizona played. It was funny. But again, he had that extra love because he went to UCLA. So I mean, he wanted us to play well, but he wanted us to lose. But that's understandable. But and after the game or whatever, he wanted to say hi and all that stuff. But yeah, he was a big fan.
Yeah, it's cool how that all works and just kind of putting everything together, like all the connections and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
yeah, so he showed off his swing in that post. Then we've seen you show off your golf swing, man. You got a pretty nice golf swing from the left side.
It's all right. Again, I'm not as consistent as I want to be in golf, but I make it work at the times. I make it work.
Well, this is how much of a hustler you are. You're out there having fun playing golf, and you're even filming some cameos while you're out there. I saw there's a tag from a dude named Emmett. He had gotten a birthday shout out while you're walking around on the golf course, man. You're just a hard worker all around and love to have fun.
I mean, again, I'm doing it. I'm working hard. I'm starting a new business and all that. So yeah, it's a lot of work, but again, I enjoy it, and I try to just get out there and just be a part of this whole social media culture. That's the life we're in right now, and we went from, like they say, the web 1, web 2, now we're in web 3. So, and I'm starting to do. I'm part of that now. So it's all tied in to where I just try to fit in and try to figure out how I can make a difference. And that's what I'm doing right now, trying to make a difference.
So this is gonna be the perfect segue because there's two tags that are gonna segue into the NFT talk. Because one of the tags that I thought was pretty cool too, which I know you saw, but there's a little girl out there named after you. The O in Lofton at the end is changed to a Y, but dude, you got people naming their kids after you.
I know it's kind of funny. I see people. A lot of them, I don't know. I meet them after they end up naming their kid or whatever. But one of my friends' name is Pookie Wigginton. He named one of his kids
Ooh, what a name, man. Pookie Wigginton?
Yeah, Pookie Wigginton. He played basketball at somewhere in the Big East out there. I can't remember. He's gonna be mad at me. But if you look him up, Pookie Wigginton, he played in the Big East. He's fraternity brothers of mine, and he named one of his kids Lofton. So that's the first time I knew someone personally that named their kid after me. I'm like, wow. Yeah. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
That's that baseball culture impact. Not everybody has that. Like, I know Don Mattingly. I know a ton of kids, it seems like, named after Mattingly, both boy and girl. So, but like, yeah, that's cool. You got that too.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I mean, I just feel like for me, when I look at that, I think I looked at it as, they see how I respect the game and how I played the game, and I played it hard, and just to keep that mindset going. I mean, they named the kids, but I don't understand it, but I appreciate the thought behind it because, again, the respect I put into the game and the respect how I treated fans and treated people. I guess they saw that and say, let me name my kid after him. And again, I respect that.
One of the most feel-good stories about somebody naming their kid, or in this case, pet, after you, that I just like I already knew about you from mutual connections, and this I thought just spoke crazy volumes about your character, was that there was a dog named Kalo.
Halo,
Like, yeah, yeah, there you go, you know.
Halo 7, yeah.
Dude, you'll probably tell this better than I would, but just and if you guys check out Kalo7 on Instagram, actually a dog model's got 31 more followers than the both of
Me,
us.
more followers than me.
Yeah, yeah. I respected you a hella ton before, but like now, like it's just crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I mean, you see that, you're like, wow. And then actually, I met the dog. Actually, I did.
Nice.
I think I took a picture with the dog. I met the dog, and it was pretty cool. And what I need to do right now, I just thought about that. I need to make an NFT on. I think I make an NFT on Kalo 7 the dog. That'd be
Dude, you
awesome.
should. Yo, dude, you have to, because you know how many
I
people would
know.
love that, and especially too because he's got Kalo's got the audience, Kalo7.
Yeah, Kalo 7 got a big audience. So Kalo 7, you out there? Let's go. You hit me up like you always hit me up. And I always see on my timeline, Kalo 7 is always there somehow liking or retweeting or whatever, but it's awesome. So Kalo 7, let's go ahead and do an NFT because that's what I'm working on now. But let's do it.
Yes, sir. And like so she had the owners had named the dog after you because of like how much of a hustler you were, and how motivating and inspired you were. And you had reached out to the family. They had
Yeah.
said in an Instagram caption when the father had passed away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just the fact that you were aware enough, and took the time to do that, and again, like I just thought it spoke volumes about your character. But like you're a good dude, you know.
I mean, for me, I just give respect where it's given. I feel like you give respect and you receive it. I just feel like you treat people how you want to be treated. I mean, that's just the line my grandmother always told me. You treat people how you want to be treated. If you want to be treated with respect, you give respect. And to this day, I live by that. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. I don't try to right away say, well, if somebody said this person is bad, you know what? Let me see for myself. Before I judge someone else, I see it for myself, and then I make that decision. And that's where I was raised, and that's how I was taught. So treat people how you want to be treated.
Amen to that. So, you talked about digitizing, turning Kalo7 into NFT. I don't think I've seen this just yet, but if you haven't already, man, the K chain, you got to digitize that.
Yeah, I have a lot of little things in the pipeline that's coming up with the NFTs. So, I got one that's coming out, Lil Kenny. That's what it's called. So I gave a little snippet on or whatever. A lot of little things that's going to be going on in the NFT. My NFT marketplace, Proxy Me. So it's called Proxy Me, Proxime, Proxy Me.
Okay, now I think where you can find these, I think Little Kenny is gonna be bigger than Little Penny at this rate, man, because it's gonna be the baseball version of it.
Yeah, it's gonna be the baseball version of the Lil Kenny. You're right, but it's gonna be Lil Kenny. But it's gonna be one of the things that I'm gonna really push out there. I can name a few guys, but I don't want to. We have Gary Payton, Gary Sheffield, John Stark, Brett Hall, Daryl Strawberry. I mean, I have just a list of guys I can. I mean, because again, there's so many of them. You have on there Byron Scott, Cliff Livingston, Al Joyner, Flojo. We have Torrey Hunter, Eddie Murray. So we have so many. I mean, I can keep naming, but but again, we got football, we have basketball, baseball, hockey, track. So again, this is a platform that I'm going to be enjoy working on and working with these guys on putting these NFTs together with some cool utilities, come along with it. So I think that's going to be the key is, having these fan engagements. We want to be a part of the community, and at the same time with this whole thing, giving back. I feel like there's a big community that people got to understand the homelessness in this country. It's it's off the chain. We need to find ways to help correct that. And I'm trying to work with an organization and community that's going to put some of the proceeds toward helping the homeless. You know, here in LA, it's crazy, you know, of what needs to be done. And I feel like myself and all those guys that I named, we have a voice, we have a face that can help, you know, put some efforts toward that, because it's sad that this is happening in this country, and we're one of the most powerful countries in the world, and we still got a homeless problem. Come on, people, we got to get with it. We got to figure out. We all have to figure out and do our part. Just like when I did my part as a leadoff hitter or whatever in baseball, people have to do their part to help this problem, and it just takes a little bit. Everyone takes a little bit to help this problem go away. And again, we have these veterans out there that help fight, you know, fight the war, help us be in a position where we are in the United States today. You know, other countries or whatever, but we fought the war, and now they come home from the war and they're homeless. Come on, people. We can't, I mean, we have to do something about that. We do. Again, and this is part of what I'm doing, trying to put this all in collaboration together, because I know NFT is the future. Okay, and if NFT is the future, taking care of this homeless problem should be part of our future as well.
Yeah, no, big time, and that's kind of where the tie-in with Kalo 7 comes into play. I know we're kidding around about digitizing Kalo 7 into an NFT, but you making that little gesture, having a positive impact on somebody's day, and always want to do good for other people, and then the NFTs that you're doing, like even when you had launched, the portions, part of them had gone towards a good cause, a charity, you know. So it's like you're not one of those dudes out there. You're not an artist looking to make $500 million that you pocketed all yourself. Like, no, you got your Rolodex of boys and girls that you know, and you're gonna try to do the most that you can, raise the most money that you can, and try to help out as many people as you can. And that's why when I saw that post, I was like, man, I got to reach out to Kenny. I got to have him on the show, because I want to try to play, I know it's a very small part, but a part, and try to spread this message and make you the man, because I'm like, or keep making you the man. Because this is something that's really cool that you're doing, and anybody can do it. And it's not just, so if somebody hears like NFTs or anything, it's not just like you get like one digitized thing, whatever it is, but it's the experience. You know, you could buy something, and then with that comes an experience of maybe meeting Kenny, of maybe meeting Brett Hall, of maybe going to a St. Louis Blues game, because it's one of the things that is in your NFT. So it's like that experience. There's levels to it, and you're offering that. Dude, and the names that you said, man, like these are cool people. This isn't like you're giving away $10 gift cards to Fanatics. No disrespect to the Fanatics if you listen to this, but like, this is cool stuff that you're doing.
Yeah, again, for me, you know, the biggest thing that I've learned, and especially in this space of marketing, and well, I said not so much marketing, but guys, especially retired guys have an opportunity, in what I'm doing is to help take back control of their IP, of their intellectual property, that in a sense I feel was taken away from me. It was taken away from me. I mean, again, playing baseball, you had to do exactly what they wanted you to do in the game. So I put the Indians jersey on. If I take that jersey off, it's just a jersey. But that jersey with me in it, it makes them a bigger value and a better value to the actual jersey itself. So if I'm trying to let these guys know is that, you know, instead of you giving all these companies 35% and you get the lesser percentage, in this, I'm letting guys take a whole of 90% or more of their IP that was taken away when these guys played this sports with the organizations. So now, since you're retired, you have what you have now. You have your intellectual property. You have your brand. It's your name. Your name without the jersey is just the jersey. But your name is going to carry more weight than just the jersey itself, or whatever it is. So I'm trying to get these guys to understand that's the direction I'm trying to go with this, is come to what I'm doing, because I'm trying to help you with your intellectual property that was pretty much taken away from when you were playing. Now you're not playing. It's the opportunity to do something with it and enjoy it and give back to the community, give back to the organization that you want to go give back to, and not the ones that they want you to give to. So now it's all on you. You know, you have your fan support. We all have a collective, whether Web 2, where you have social media, now Web 3, you got that. Web 3 will come into Web 2 will come into Web 3. We all have followers. Now you can go directly to your followers, to your fans, and say, hey, I have this NFT, and what comes along with it? A signed autograph back, a signed base, anything that can come along with these NFTs, and they're called utilities. So the utility that's going to come along with it is a utility along with an experience. Like you said, the experience, people want experience. People want to play golf with me. They want to hang out with me. They want to have Zoom calls with me. We can do that. It's going to be a part of the NFT experience that's going to come along with everyone that's in what we call the inside, the proximity insiders. Is who we are. Is the guys that I have on board with me who believe in what I'm doing. So it's going to be awesome. We're going to go from there to the metaverse, to the virtual reality. All that stuff is going to be incorporated in what we're doing.
Dude, see, that's so awesome because you're meeting both of those sides. Like you're the middleman to making everybody win, which is like huge. Because and even I think I'm so happy that you're saying all this, because I even think that for current athletes or current people looking to get into this, like it's important to understand this. You know, you understand it because you were a professional athlete. You're retired now and you're in this space. So you've seen both sides. You understand both sides. As a young athlete or as a young anything in this space or whatever it is that you're trying to do where you're trying to make money, at the time, if you get, say, a 20% cut of something, like it seems like a lot. Like you're a young dude, maybe you're in your 20s, like, all right, sounds good. Thank you so much. But like, dude, you could actually get, like you said, 90%. So it's very good that you pointed that out. And I'm happy that you did, because I know a lot of athletes and a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of young people listen to this and watch this podcast. So I'm happy that you pointed that out, because I think that's very eye-opening and something that people should understand. And the more that I understood NFTs, and because like you said, it's like their experiences behind it, the more that I respected them, and the more that I'm like, man, this is really, really freaking cool.
Was going to also go with college students, because now college students are able to make money. So now you feel like you're a college student, you're up and coming, you have an opportunity, and you have a fan base. So I'm trying to help you connect to your fan base to be able to get a part of you that they want to see. College, high school, up and coming. Again, this is but again, for me, I want to start with the retired guys so people can understand it and can believe in it. Because again, you know, like I always say, we're from the show me state. Show me something. So I want to show guys this is what goes on, and we can just trickle this down to the college, to high school kids. Let them know, come to us, because we're going to put you on that stage so people can see your value. You can keep your intellectual property and have a hold to it.
Dude, my man, Kenny Lofton. Yo, I told you, man, quote machine. We're from the show me state. Let's go, baby. What got you into all this? Because I know you're big into entrepreneurship, but just the fact that you understand all this and you're willing to learn too. You know, like you're like, oh, hey, this is new, this is cool, this is fun. Let me learn more about it. But like, what got you into this? Because you're definitely very knowledgeable in this space. But I know you got the TV and film background from University of Arizona, and you got film pool and everything. But like, what got you into this specifically?
Well, again, I dabbled into the crypto space and understand it. And the more, again, like I said, when I go into some, I'm going to research, dig into it, and keep going, because that's what I do. When I put my mind to something, I'm going to do it, I do it. And just starting to see what was going on, I'm like, wow, this is kind of cool. And then when they brought up the part about the NFTs and how you can monetize from your brand, from your IP, I'm like, wait a minute. And then a couple companies came to me and they were basically, you know, doing it a certain way. I'm like, no, you guys still have a hold of my IP. That's not cool. So from this point forward, guys need to take hold of their IP and not give it to someone else. And they give them a little, you know, money up front. Yeah, that's what they're doing. But they have a hold of that IP, because they know down the line this thing is growing. This is the alpha moment. NFTs is the alpha moment, like the alpha moment of social media, what they call it, MySpace to TikTok. Come on, you see that in between space? It's a lot going on, and this is where we are to that. So I had to get into it, and again, I just felt like this was a perfect opportunity for me, knowing in baseball how we got the short end of the stick. These car companies or whatever made all this killing the money off of us, and we got the small percentage, and we had to divvy it up among the whole players association. So if you had a guy like Griffey had an opportunity to make a lot of money, he didn't, because the money he made went into the kitty and it got divvied up amongst 1,300 players. So now they have a chance right now to monetize from that, and the charity they want to be a part of and make part of the proceeds go to, they can do it on their own, because everyone has the different mindset of what charity they want to go to. But in a sense, they had to put in the kitty, and the kitty did that, whatever they wanted to do. Now you, as an individual, you take a hold of that. You can say where you want part of your proceeds, but again, you cannot go wrong with the homeless problem we're having. So I feel this is a big community that we're having. And on top of that, I feel like, the disparity in this country and whatever, it's here. It is real. So I'm trying to figure out something I can bring together, bring my co-founder and partners together and say, hey, I'm starting this here. Again, I come from the hood. So you have a guy coming from the hood, an opportunity to start a business in this tech world. It's tough. But again, I'm trying to be that guy from the hood, a Black guy from the hood trying to have a company, starting a Black-owned company in this tech space. Is very difficult, because again, I'm not the big name guy that they just throw money towards. I'm not that, but I'm trying to be the guy that can start and show kids in my neighborhood, in my surrounding areas, say, hey, look what he did. Look where he started. He not just did just in baseball, in which that's one avenue, but the avenue is another avenue. We have an opportunity to be entrepreneurs. We have to be able to start from the business world as well. Because again, we don't have the opportunity to show our young Black and brown kids that you can come at a different space than other just sports. I'm trying to show them that as well, because they don't have that opportunity. You don't have the young artists, the young singers, the young, coming from the hood. They want to have a place, and I want to have that landing place for them. I want that landing place for them to come toward what I'm doing, to show you that, yes, come on board of what I'm doing. Because you can. And when you can, you will.
Dude, let's go, baby. Yo. Oh, dude, yo. As you're saying all this stuff and talking about how, like, you're showing that you're proof that you can do certain things, I'm thinking, man, you played basketball, you played baseball, both at, you could say, the highest levels, and the entrepreneur stuff and the NFT stuff, like tech, which is very intimidating to a lot of people. But like you said, coming from your background, showing that it can be done, dude. And it's not just one thing. Again, like, it's baseball, it's basketball, it's TV and film, it is the NFT, the tech space. Like, it is literally anything and everything. The example that you're setting and the amount of lives that you're impacting just by sharing all this stuff right now is it's unreal. And I want a little Kenny. I'm buying one, because you know what? When I do buy one, there's going to be experiences with it, hopefully, fingers crossed. But even if not, some of that money is going towards problems in the country or anything else, raising money in charity that will be of positive impact.
Well, thank you. That's,
we're all helping each other, man. Dude, little Kenny, sign the kid up. I'm variety number 3 of the chain. Variation number 3, man. It's going to be the NFT version, and then I'm going to be getting that too. Dude, I might walk around the metaverse just decked out in Kenny Lofton swag. Sign me up, baby.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate that. Again, I'm just here to I'm trying to make a difference. I'm trying to push it forward. Because again, a lot of people don't have that. When you have a voice, you have an opportunity to push it forward. And I think in this space, because this, again, a lot of us don't get a chance to start things from the ground up. And here's an opportunity where I am starting this. I've been working on this, trying to work on this NFT stuff and trying to figure out how to put the marketplace to give, again, I'm going to keep saying it, little Black and brown kids the opportunity to come and be a part of what I'm doing. Because it's hard to go to some other company and be a part of that. These bigger companies that, there's some big names behind it, they don't care about the black and brown. They don't. And it's sad, this is the way that, again, it's all about this disparity that's going on in this country and in the world. It's real. But if you're not black and brown, you don't understand it. But I guess there are a lot of people who are not black and brown who really understand this. And I really appreciate them speaking out about it, because it is real. So, and I'm just glad I have the opportunity to be that landing page for a lot of people who wouldn't necessarily have that opportunity. And if we can get people to have that opportunity, I want to be that person to help with that, to make a difference. It's all about making a difference in someone else's lives who don't have that opportunity. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Dude, yo, this is insane. You got to coach, man. You got to, back in the clubhouse, back like in a school, just hyping kids up or whatever, man. Unreal. Dude, I've done this. I've been doing this for a long ass time, and very rarely am I like, God, like, that was amazing, dude. All right, sorry. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass either. I'm like being dead serious. Like, I really appreciate everything that you just said and respect the hell out of it.
I just want to speak the truth, man. I just got to speak the truth. Some people don't want to hear it, but I'm sorry. I have to speak the truth.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly who you are and who you've always been. Wow. Okay. All right. So for everybody listening to this, how can they help? And also too, how can they look into all the Kenny Lofton NFT experiences, anything that's available, anything that's coming out in the pipeline? And depending upon when this gets released or when you're listening to this, where's the best place for people to go?
You can go to Proxime, as PROXIME.io, and that's where we're starting we can go to there, and that's where we're starting the marketplace. And go to our Proxime. We have a Discord, we have a Clubhouse, we have a social media page. So Proxime, PROXIME, and try to engage with us, bring the community together to try to figure out, because the more you bring the community to get together, the more this thing can grow, the more this thing can expand. And just keep up with what we're doing on Proxime. And this is just the opportunity for us to start. And once we start this, we're going to go big. We're going to have a lot of guys on different platforms with us, talking to certain guys, interviewing certain guys, putting guys part of our fan experiences. We're going to have a week of a Proxime Insiders Week with a lot of things going on. So again, we're just trying to keep people engaged. And again, our fans deserve an opportunity to engage with us, to enjoy the experience. So Proxime is going to help guys be a part of the experience of what we're doing, because again, our fan base is our fans. They're the community. They're the real people, part of our community. So we're just trying to engage with them and show them we got memorabilia, we got experiences. All of that's going to be a part of the NFTs. And like you said, with the NFT itself is just that piece, but then there's utilities and there's experiences that's going to come along with each and every NFT we put out there. So just be a part of the guys that we have on board, and we want more people to come in. So I know it's a long speech about it, but again, Proxime is where we're trying to get this thing to blow up.
And social media handles, shoot those out, because that's where you post a lot of the updates, and you can see some cool pictures and things that you're doing right now, and even some cool throwback photos I know you like to post. But where are the best social media handles that everybody could go follow you?
Well, again, our Proxime Discord is one, but again, me, Kenny Lofton _7. And I think, again, it's hard to figure out all these different pages, but if you go to Proxime, it'll show all of that. So Proxime will get to me, it'll get to all the different websites, because I have all of it on my Instagram, my Facebook, and my Twitter. It's all on there. So once you go there, you can have an idea how to get to Proxime. So if you go to follow me and understand me, you will see all the things that we're doing.
Dude, my guy, Kenny Lofton, thank you so much for hopping on Keep Swinging, brother. I appreciate it.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me. And I'm glad, I'm glad you're here to help me, push this forward. So that's what it's all about. pushing it forward.